Hello everyone, and welcome back. You know that saying, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger"? Well, after today's video, you might want to rethink that, because we're looking at torture methods designed to kill slowly, painfully, and in the most horrifying ways you can imagine. On the Dole scale, a real scientific tool that measures pain, these methods would easily hit the top numbers within seconds. Get ready to travel through the darkest corners of human history as we count down the 10 most horrifying torture devices ever created. This is Epic 10 Discoveries, and I'm Alex. Let's jump right into it. Number 10. The Brazen Bull. Let's start in ancient Greece around 560 BCE, with a device so cruel it's hard to believe anyone thought it up. A man named Perillus invented the Brazen Bull, a hollow metal statue shaped like, you guessed it, a bull. The victim would be locked inside while a fire was lit underneath. The metal heated until the person roasted alive. To make it worse, Perillus added pipes that transformed screams into the sound of a bull's roar, echoing across crowds. Temperatures inside could hit 500 degrees Fahrenheit in just 15 minutes, like being locked in an oven on its highest setting. On the Dole scale, this is a solid 10 out of 10. Survival? Almost impossible. Only an action movie-style rescue could get you out before it's too late. Number 9. Scaphism. Next up, we're headed to ancient Persia for something so gruesome it almost sounds like a nightmare. Scaphism involved trapping a person between two boats or hollowed-out logs, like a human sandwich. Only their head, hands, and feet stuck out. Then came the milk and honey, force-fed and smeared all over the body. Sweet? Not really. Insects swarmed, feeding, biting, and laying eggs in the exposed flesh. Victims floated in swamps, suffering infections, dehydration, and septic shock while still alive. Day by day, their body became a living feast for bugs. At first, the pain ranked low, but as infestation spread, it climbed to a full 10 on the Dole scale. Can you imagine being alive through all of that? Number 8. The rack. You've probably heard of this one. It's the classic medieval torture device. The rack was a wooden frame where victims were tied by their hands and feet. Then a crank or wheel slowly stretched their limbs. At first you might think, okay, this is just a really intense stretch. But then ligaments snap, shoulders dislocate, and bones can break. This device was a favorite during the Inquisition for extracting confessions, whether true or not. If you were lucky, you might survive, but end up permanently paralyzed. On the Dole scale, this is a 9 out of 10. Imagine lying there, hearing your own joints pop as you're stretched farther and farther. Number 7. Rat torture. If the rack didn't break you, this one probably would. Rat torture was used during wars and uprisings in medieval Europe. A heated container filled with rats was placed on a victim's stomach or chest. Desperate to escape the heat, the rats would instinctively burrow downward, straight through the victim's flesh. This was as much a psychological nightmare as it was physical, because the victim was fully aware of what was happening. On the Dole scale, this is another 9 out of 10. Agonizing, terrifying, and unforgettable. Number 6. The Judas Cradle. If rats aren't your thing, how about this? The Judas Cradle was a medieval device shaped like a pointed pyramid. The victim was forced to sit on top of it, the tip pressing into their most sensitive areas. Slowly, their own weight would stretch and pierce them internally, causing massive damage and infections. This wasn't a quick punishment, it was meant to last, and it was designed to humiliate. On the Dole scale, it's a harrowing 7 out of 10. Picture yourself being lowered onto that sharp point, knowing exactly what's coming. Would you confess to anything just to make it stop? Number 5. Bamboo torture. Now we move to a method that may have used nature itself as the weapon. Bamboo torture was allegedly used in Asia, including during World War II. Victims were tied over a bed of young bamboo shoots. Bamboo grows incredibly fast. up to an inch per hour. As it grew, it turned from a harmless plant into a slow-motion spear, piercing the victim's body, muscles, and organs. On the doll scale, it starts at a 4 but climbs to a 9.5 when the bamboo hits your vital organs. Could you survive? Maybe, if you could wiggle enough to guide the bamboo through a limb instead of your chest. But tied down, your chances were almost zero. Number 4. The breaking wheel. This next one wasn't just torture, it was a public event. The breaking wheel was one of medieval Europe's most savage execution methods. The victim was tied to a large wooden wheel, and their limbs were systematically smashed with a hammer or iron bar. But they weren't killed right away. The goal was to keep them alive for hours, even days, as a warning to others. Imagine lying there, bones broken, waiting to see what part of your body gets crushed next. On the doll scale, this is a full 10 out of 10, maybe even a 12. The psychological terror was as bad as the physical pain. Number 3. The Iron Maiden. This is one of the most iconic torture devices, and it even inspired the name of a famous heavy metal band. Picture a coffin-shaped box lined with spikes. The victim was placed inside and the door was slowly closed, driving the spikes into their body. But here's the twist. The spikes were positioned to avoid vital organs. That meant the victim wouldn't die immediately. Instead, they'd endure claustrophobic agony for hours or days. On the doll scale, it's an 8 out of 10. Some historians argue the Iron Maiden may have been exaggerated or even fabricated for shock value, yet it remains a chilling symbol of human cruelty. Number 2. Flaying. If you've ever peeled an orange, this next one might haunt you. Flaying involved carefully peeling the skin off a person while they were still alive. This brutal method dates back to the Assyrians and was used in various times and places, including the Spanish Inquisition. The pain would be unimaginable. Death was almost guaranteed from shock, blood loss, or infection, often all three. This wasn't about extracting information, it was about sending a message to anyone thinking of rebelling. On the doll scale, it's a full 10 out of 10. And no, you couldn't survive this one. Number 1. Slow slicing, lynching. Finally, we arrive at one of the most infamous execution methods in history. Lynching, also called death by 1,000 cuts, was used in China as early as the 10th century. The victim was tied to a post, and small pieces of skin, flesh, and limbs were removed one at a time. The process could last for hours, with the person fully conscious. The final blow might be a cut to the heart or a decapitation, but by then the suffering was beyond anything we can imagine. This wasn't just physical torture, it was psychological, public humiliation designed to terrify others into obedience. On the doll scale, it's a 10 out of 10. History was brutal. And there you have it, the 10 most horrifying torture devices in human history. Which one shocked you the most? Do you think you'd have any chance of surviving even one of these? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Hey there, everyone. Imagine this. What if some of the wildest stories you've heard aren't just made up, but actually have real clues pointing to hidden truths? Buckle up, because today we're diving into secrets that might change how you see the world. Welcome to today's video, where we're exploring the top 10 ultimate conspiracy theories that might be true. These aren't your everyday tall tales. They're backed by curious facts that make you stop and think, wait a minute, what if that's true? This is Epic 10 Discoveries, and I'm Alex, your guide into the strange, the unexplained, and the fascinating. So let's get started. Starting at number 10, Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 was hijacked. Picture this. You're on a plane heading from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing in 2014, and suddenly it just disappears. The official story says it crashed into the Indian Ocean, but many folks believe it was hijacked. And here's why that idea won't go away. The plane made a sharp turn off its normal path and kept flying for hours in the wrong direction? That's not something that usually happens if it's just a machine problem. Plus, the transponder, the device that lets people track the plane, was turned off by hand. It didn't shut down on its own. No emergency call was ever made, which might mean the pilots couldn't talk or were stopped somehow. But the weird part? The plane kept sending signals to satellites for hours after it vanished from radar, proving it was still up there flying. And get this, no clear pieces of the plane have ever been found. With all these strange twists, it's no wonder people keep thinking about a hijack. What do you say? Does this make you curious about what really happened to those passengers? Moving on to number 9. Elvis Presley faked his death. Elvis, the king of rock and roll, passed away in 1977. Or did he? A bunch of fans think he pretended to die to get away from all the spotlight and stress. There are some odd clues that keep this alive. For starters, his middle name on the death papers is spelled Aaron with 2 A's, but on his birth papers, it's with 1 A. That mix-up feels fishy to some, like it was done on purpose to throw people off. Then there are all the sightings. People swearing they've spotted Elvis at places like a burger spot in Michigan, or even at his old home, Graceland. One big story is from Memphis Airport, where a guy who looked just like him bought a ticket to Buenos Aires using John Burroughs, a fake name Elvis liked to use. Elvis was also super interested in the FBI and even helped them sometimes. Some say that Link got him into a protection program, which would explain why he vanished so suddenly. Imagine if the king is still out there somewhere. Wild, right? Have you ever heard a sighting story? Share in the comments. Now, number 8, water fluoridation is a government control tool. Okay, this one might make you think twice about your next glass of water. The idea is that adding fluoride to drinking water isn't just for healthy teeth. Some say it's to keep people calm and under control. It started in the 1940s to help with dental care. But fluoride is listed as a brain-affecting toxin in a big medical journal, right up there with lead and mercury. Studies show too much fluoride can link to lower smarts, like one from 2019 that found kids exposed before birth had lower IQ scores. Harvard folks also say high levels might slow down brain growth in children. Back in the Cold War days, there were whispers that enemies used fluoride to make prisoners less feisty. Put it all together, and this theory doesn't seem so out there anymore. Pay attention next time you turn on the tap. At number 7, Big Pharma is suppressing cures. What if the big medicine companies have ways to fix diseases like cancer, but hide them so they can keep selling treatments forever? It sounds tough to believe, but look at the money side. In 2015, one company jacked up the price of a pill called Daraprim from $13.50 to $750. Another raised Acthar gel from $40 to $23,000. A diabetes med went from $800 to over $10,000 for 3 months, and even allergy shots like EpiPens doubled in cost. These companies spend billions, like $89 billion in 2014, on new drugs, but mostly ones you take over and over, not quick fixes. If a cure means no more sales, why rush to share it? This makes you wonder if profits come before people. Number 6, the government is hiding proof of alien life. Aliens? Yeah, we're going there. For years, talking about UFOs was laughed off, but things are changing. In 2021, the US military put out a report on these unidentified flying things, saying they've been watching them for a long time. Pilots and soldiers have seen crafts zipping at crazy speeds and doing flips that break physics rules, and no one can explain them. Then in 2023, a former spy guy named David Grush told Congress the government has hidden alien ships for decades. He even said they found weird non-human remains at crash spots. With real officials admitting they don't know what's up there, it's hard not to feel like something big is being kept secret. Look up at the stars tonight. What if we're not alone? Give your opinion below. Halfway through, number 5, Princess Diana's death wasn't an accident. The world lost a beloved princess in a 1997 car crash in Paris. But was it really just bad luck? Officials say the driver was going too fast and had been drinking, but some think it was planned. Diana was super famous and had issues with the royal family. She was dating Dodi Fayed, whose dad was a rich businessman, and not everyone liked that match. Suspicious stuff. People who knew the driver say he wasn't drinking that night. Cameras in the tunnel where it happened weren't working right. And Diana wrote a note to her helper saying she worried someone would mess with her car to cause an accident. It's like she saw it coming. Coincidence? Or chilling foresight? Either way, suspicions about Diana's death haven't faded even decades later. Number 4, the CIA killed JFK. Back in 1963, President Kennedy was shot, and the blame went to one guy, Lee Harvey Oswald. But many point fingers at the CIA. Kennedy wanted to limit their power during tense times with other countries, which made them mad. In 1978, a government group said it was likely a group plot, maybe with another shooter, and the first investigation had big mistakes. Evidence went missing, records changed. Super shady. We know the CIA tried to take out other leaders, like Cuba's Fidel Castro, so they're no strangers to this. Some papers are still secret today. This one's a classic mystery. Imagine if we knew the full truth. Number 3. COVID-19 was engineered in a lab. The big sickness that started in Wuhan, China, officials say it came from animals at a market, but some believe it was made in a nearby lab and got out by mistake or on purpose. That lab was studying bat viruses just like COVID. Scientists say the virus has odd parts, like a spot that helps it stick to human cells, which might not happen naturally. In 2021, US spies couldn't say for sure it wasn't a lab leak. Being so close to the lab where the outbreak began keeps this idea going strong. Think about it. Could a tiny mistake change the world? What's your take? Almost to the top. Number 2, the moon landing was staged. You've probably heard this one. Did we really go to the moon in 1969, or was it a movie set? Photos show shadows going weird ways, like from extra lights, not just the sun. The flag looks like it's waving, but there's no wind up there. A former NASA worker wrote a book in 1976 saying the tech back then had only a 1 in 10 shot of working, so faking it might have been easier to look good against rivals. And adding to the mystery, in 2009, NASA admitted they had lost the original moon landing tapes. Strange, isn't it? Whether you believe it was real or staged, this theory refuses to die. And finally, number 1, Jeffrey Epstein's death wasn't a suicide. In 2019, this rich guy, Jeffrey Epstein, died in jail while facing serious charges like sex trafficking, and they called it suicide. But many believe Epstein knew too much about too many powerful people. The guards who should have been watching him, they fell asleep. The cameras near his cell, they stopped working. And the autopsy revealed broken bones in his neck, injuries more common in strangulation than hanging. With his deep connections to politicians, billionaires, and celebrities, it's no wonder people believe Epstein didn't just take his own life. He was silenced. This tops the list for good reason. Mind-blowing, huh? There you have it. Now you know the main conspiracy theories that could very well be true.
Welcome back, everyone. From strange signals in space to mysterious encounters on Earth, unexplained events continue to challenge science. Humanity has spent decades asking one question: are we truly alone? Tonight, we're diving into the 10 most convincing proofs that aliens might actually be real. Stories backed by real witnesses, real data, and mysteries that still puzzle experts to this day. This is Epic 10 Discoveries, and I'm Alex. Let's begin. Number 10, Comet 3, I/ATLAS, the alien probe theory. In 2025, NASA discovered something extraordinary. Comet 3 I/ATLAS, the third object ever found coming from another star system. But this comet didn't behave like a normal comet. It was traveling at 58 kilometers per second, following a strangely perfect path that passed by Mars, Earth, and even Jupiter. Astrophysicist Avi Loeb from Harvard suggested it could be more than just ice and rock, maybe a probe sent by alien intelligence. Its shiny, metal-like surface, no tail at first, and unusual acceleration made scientists suspicious. Some online even claimed it looked like an artificial craft scanning planets as it passed by. Though NASA later confirmed it was a natural comet, the debate refuses to die. If this was truly just ice and dust, why did it behave like a machine? Number 9. The Roswell Incident. It all started in July 1947, when a rancher in Roswell, New Mexico found strange debris scattered across his land, metallic fragments etched with unknown symbols. The military first announced they had recovered a flying disc, only to retract it hours later, saying it was just a weather balloon. That sudden change lit a fire of suspicion. Witnesses later claimed to have seen alien bodies, secret autopsies, and trucks hauling wreckage to Area 51. Skeptics say it was a secret military balloon project, but believers see it as the first modern UFO cover-up. So, was it truly a crash from another world, or just the beginning of something bigger? Number 8. The Phoenix Lights. March 13th, 1997. A calm night in Arizona turned unforgettable. Thousands looked up and saw a giant V-shaped craft gliding silently across the sky. It was huge, some said as large as a mile wide, and it blocked out the stars. A second wave of lights hovered motionless above Phoenix for minutes before vanishing. The military later claimed they were just flares from a training exercise, but eyewitnesses, including Governor Fife Symington, said otherwise. He called it otherworldly. With thousands of matching reports and real video footage, the Phoenix Lights remain one of the most convincing mass sightings in history. Number 7. The WOW signal. In 1977, while scanning deep space for radio signals, astronomer Jerry Amon spotted something unbelievable. For 72 seconds, a powerful signal from the constellation Sagittarius appeared. Not random noise, not human, but structured, precise, and narrowband. Exactly what scientists would expect from an intelligent source. Amon circled it and wrote one word beside it: wow. No telescope has ever picked up the signal again. It wasn't a satellite, not a planet, and not static. It came and went like a message aimed directly at Earth. To this day, the WOW signal is one of the strongest scientific clues that someone might be out there trying to say hello. Number 6. The Rendlesham Forest Encounter. December 1980, in Suffolk, England. US Air Force officers at RAF Woodbridge saw strange lights descending into the woods. Thinking it was a crash, they went to investigate. What they found looked like something out of a science fiction movie. A small metallic craft, covered with glowing symbols, hovering just above the ground. Sergeant Jim Peniston said he even touched it. Warm metal, smooth surface, humming softly. Moments later, the craft shot straight up into the sky. Radiation readings at the site spiked. Marks on the ground formed a perfect triangle. The military later blamed a lighthouse. But even decades later, witnesses stick to their story. For many, this is Britain's Roswell, and one of the most credible UFO cases ever recorded. Number 5. The Black Knight Satellite. Orbiting Earth for decades is a dark, irregular object known as the Black Knight Satellite. It first appeared on military radar in the 1950s, long before we had technology to launch satellites into polar orbit. When astronauts photographed it during the 1998 STS-88 mission, its strange shape caused a storm of speculation. NASA said it was just a lost thermal blanket, but UFO researchers believe it's an ancient alien probe, perhaps thousands of years old. Some even claim Nikola Tesla picked up its radio signals in 1899. Whether it's debris or design, one thing's certain. The Black Knight keeps watching silently above us, and nobody really knows what it is. Number 4. The Pascagoula Abduction. October 11th, 1973. Two fishermen, Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker, were out on the Pascagoula River in Mississippi when a glowing craft descended near them. 3 strange beings floated out, gray, wrinkled, with clawed hands and slit mouths. The men said they were paralyzed and lifted aboard the craft, where machines examined them before releasing them back to the riverbank. Shaking with fear, they ran to the sheriff's office. Secret recordings caught their genuine panic. Even decades later, both men told the same story until their deaths. Number 3. The Battle of Los Angeles. It was February 25th, 1942. The US was on high alert after Pearl Harbor. Suddenly, radar picked up something approaching the coast of California. Sirens wailed, searchlights scanned the skies. And there it was, a glowing object floating above Los Angeles. The military opened fire, over 1,400 shells, but the object didn't fall. For an hour, explosions lit up the night, yet nothing was ever recovered. The official report: a weather balloon. But witnesses, including soldiers, swore it was a massive craft that simply vanished. Was it wartime panic, or Earth's first open-air battle with something not human? Number 2. The Betty and Barney Hill abduction. In 1961, Betty and Barney Hill were driving home through rural New Hampshire when they noticed a bright light following their car. They stopped to look and saw figures in the windows of a disc-shaped craft. Moments later, they blacked out. When they woke up, hours were missing. Under hypnosis, both described being taken aboard, examined by grey-skinned beings, and shown a star map pointing to another system, one astronomers later found to exist. Their consistent testimonies, physical evidence, and psychological trauma made it the first major alien abduction case in history, and still one of the hardest to explain. Number 1. Oumuamua. Before Comet Atlas, there was Oumuamua, discovered in 2017, the first known object from another star system to pass through our solar system. But its shape and movement were like nothing we'd seen before. Long and flat, like a metallic cigar, tumbling oddly and accelerating without any visible propulsion. Once again, Professor Avi Loeb suggested it might be alien technology, a solar-powered probe designed to explore space. NASA couldn't prove it, but they couldn't disprove it either. Oumuamua came, changed direction, and vanished, never to be seen again. If it wasn't a rock or a comet, what was it? So, what do you think? Are these just coincidences and misunderstandings, or hints that we're not alone in this vast universe? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this dive into cosmic mysteries, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss another deep exploration into the unknown. This is Alex from Epic 10 Discoveries signing off. Click on one of the videos on your screen to uncover even more amazing top 10 lists.